That is one of the worst body things I've ever heard.
In the middle of it, she goes, you know how we said it was going to be like 2,000? And I was like, ah, mouth open. She goes, it's going to be 6. And I was like, ah! And I was like, hold on, like, what am I asking here?
That's so creepy.
I know.
Ew, that's like monsters under the bed at night, but it's worse. Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening to Steph Infection. I gotta plug my tour dates because I keep forgetting to do this. So please come see me in Austin, June 14th to 15th at the Creek and Cave. Edmonton, July 14th, I'll be at the Great Outdoors Festival. Atlanta, Georgia, I'm doing one night, August 22nd. And I'll be in Charleston, South Carolina, August 23rd, 24th. And I just dropped a massive Canadian tour today. So please, it's my first theater tour. Please, please, please come to this. Halifax, September 20th. Ottawa, September 21st. Victoria, November 8th. And Vancouver, November 9th. punchup.live/Steph Tolev. Please come see me live. Bye. Well, we are back with another episode of Steph Infection. And Emma Willmann's here. I've been trying to get you on this podcast for, I think, longer than any other guest.
No, you say that to everyone.
I do not.
No way.
I do not, because we tried to do over Zoom, and then all this stuff happened. Our schedules were all off.
Yes.
And I did yours a while ago,
Yes.
and now you're here.
Yay.
You're here in town.
Thanst for having me.
Yeah, this will come out way past what we're here for, but you are here for the Netflix is a Joke Festival.
Yeah, here from Netflix is a Joke. And the last time I saw you was in Vancouver.
You killed
That
Filth.
was so fun.
You murdered.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So did you. That was so fun.
No, they were like so ready to go. They were holding on to every word you said.
Have you told about how you coordinated a proposal and then the person didn't propose?
No, I don't think I really. The guy just asked me for the tape this week. I sent him the proposal tape, but that was insane.
So before we started filming, stuff was like, okay, like someone wants to propose and I want to set it up for him. And like these were the logistics. And you're like, I told him we need to have a game plan. So then they came and you're like, I'm going to say this. And then you propose. He's like, got it.
Uh-huh.
And then you, towards the middle of the show when you were doing it, you were like, you said it, and then I was like, here it comes. And then he didn't. You asked the question. The question was, has anyone tried acid?
And it had fucked on. It had acid and fucked on it.
Yes.
Turns out, worst question to ask in Vancouver.
But also, he didn't. You were going to ask it because he was supposed to go, oh, yes, I have, and then come up, tell a story, then propose.
Yes.
But instead, no one responded. So you said, are you sure no one has? Which kind of looks nuts.
It looks nuts.
You're like really like someone must have.
But then he said she was in the bathroom at the time. I asked it. That's what happened. But you were backstage getting all stressed out. Jefferson was like trying to organize this.
Running around. He goes and after he ran around, then I did a loop. I said, I don't see anybody. He was like, I don't see anybody.
Nightmare.
And
then I had to do a backup question about him. Like, he said that he has really itchy balls. I'm like, so who scratches their nuts a lot? And then he's like, me. And I was like, it was. Have you done a proposal on stage?
I did one.
Okay.
And then they divorced like 3 months later. I take no responsibility for that. But they divorced, and I felt very involved in the whole. It was a lot. Like I think now, but it's hard to say no to. If someone says they want to propose at your show, it's a big honor.
It is a big honor, yes.
But after my experience with that, I would probably. It wasn't a great experience in that. Also people, if they haven't been on stage before, then they get to. It's a nerve-wracking situation.
Yeah.
And then one of the people, the one doing the proposing, seemed to really like being on stage, so that was an odd thing.
Oh,
because I hand her the mic,
much.
She takes it, she does a set basically. Like I was like, what is?
Oh, okay. You're like, no. Get to the proposal.
Yeah, I'm like trying to give her the light. Like I was like,
you don't need to stretch, please.
Please
wrap it up. Summer's finally here, and that means way more time to spend outside in the park, on the beach, or the pool. Make sure you're taking extra care of your hair this summer, since the sun, salt, and SPF can all affect your hair health. Now is the perfect time to start taking Nutrafol. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code INFECTION. Find out why over 4,500 hair care professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. I had one of my good friends proposed to another one of my good friends, and they also got divorced. So
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
They proposed at the show?
Lesbians.
Oh,
Yeah, at the show.
lesbians.
Yeah.
So they came
I
up.
can relate to that.
I'm sorry.
Lesbians, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came up. It was during a sketch, and she came up and added a bit to the sketch, which was funny.
That's great.
And then me and my friend, actually, whose sketch show it was, Allison, we emceed their wedding, and they are no longer.
How long
together.
did they stay married for?
5 years.
Okay, so that's a good.
It's
that's
a big chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's substantial.
But now, so these two from the Vancouver, he invited me to the wedding. He's like, "You and Jefferson are gonna come to the wedding." I'm like, "We're not.
We're not
Thank
going to the
you
wedding."
for the invite,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's absurd.
Absurd.
People would be like, "Who is this?"
Jefferson
Crazy. Yeah.
is very cute. He's very handsome.
He's a very handsome man.
Both him and I did the exact same thing when we were talking to your friend who was on the show who told the story. You had a very pretty friend who's a dancer.
Yeah, stripper. Yeah.
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 And she told a story at the show
But the happy ending.
about the happy ending.
Such a good story.
Great story.
God, it was good.
Really good. But both him and I were standing and she came up and she was just like, saying something to us, but both him and I turned our bodies to each other while we talked to her. I think out of, we were both doing it probably just out of, not wanting to be, because she just told this very sexual story and I think she was kind of in a little outfit.
Yeah.
So we were standing, but I had some picture, my friend took a picture of, somehow it was in a picture because I see him and I were both facing each other and then looking at her right in the eye. We're both not.
That's very cute.
It was cute.
Yeah, she's so pretty and she's so
Beautiful.
cute and she's so funny. Oh my God, it was such a good story.
Hence the two people in relationships are both like, good
Uh-huh.
job.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
job.
Handshake. Yeah.
Good job, bye. Good job, bye.
Yeah, we just got in a little argument on the way here, which was great.
happens.
You know what? You get snips. Also, I'm so stressed out today.
Yeah.
So I think I just over snipped, and then we.
I
had
snipped too.
I think also he's not used to dating women who don't just get snipped at and go, "I'm sorry, boyfriend." I'm like, "What was that?" And then I lose my fucking mind. So it was that. It was he had a snip, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm snipping back. You're getting the
Right.
snips. We're not doing one snip one
Who
way."
snips more?
We both go from 0 to 300. There's no middle ground.
So that's me, and then Lexi does not do that at all.
Oh, just takes it.
No.
Or takes it just.
She doesn't raise her voice, and she's like, I will not. She's like, I won't engage with this if you're yelling
Okay,
or anything.
okay.
And then it makes me look. It's bad. Her way is better. I know that, so I've been having to do it in therapy because I've been with people where we both snip. But then if you get two snippers 0 to 60, you can bada bing, bada boom, done, and it's fine. You get it.
Yeah.
That
We
works.
both kind of go down, but I'm like, I get very upset after the snips. So I got upset, had a little cry on the way here because I was like, I don't like fighting, and I'm like, and then tonight is another show, and he's on the show with me, so I don't want to be in a mood all day, and he leaves tomorrow for a week, so I'm like, I hate fighting before the traveling. I get all in my head.
Do you guys resolve it? Do you?
We're both very vocal. So I sent a little text and I'm like, I guess I'll just do that. I'm sorry, maybe you didn't hear what I said.
Wait, what do you mean you didn't hear what you said?
We're right now also, our fights are never about anything. It's stupid. It's about laundry.
Oh.
I had to get my laundry done because I have to wear Spanx tonight and they have to hang dry.
Yes.
And he doesn't understand this.
Okay.
So I had to do laundry right then and there before I came to the podcast. So I had
Yes.
to take the Spanx out and hang them.
Yes.
So I put the laundry through. He comes out, he goes, I said I had to put my laundry in. I was like, and then it was craziness. For no
Sure,
reason.
because you're
It's
like,
never,
my Spanx need to dry, and I
There's
can't do
literally-
it. And then everything at the show is ruined.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Right.
And then I'm like, if I didn't hate my body, we wouldn't be here. And he's like, now you're talking about something else. I'm like, yes, I am.
Which is also totally fair, though, because it relates to the Spanx. You're like, everything is connected to the other
Everything is
things. And
connected
I'm
to
telling
the
you right
fucking
now,
Spanx.
I haven't been drinking enough water for the past 2 months. And it's like,
Speaking of no Spanx,
oh, great
you
segue.
posted quite the pic.
So I'll tell you.
Oh,
So I'm trying to be, I appreciate that. Well, let me tell you something. Thank you. I worked really hard on it.
Yes, and as you should.
Thank you.
6-pack? 8-pack? What are we talking here?
So I'll tell you what really goes into the X factor with. I had worked out a ton, and then right before I took that picture, and I'm getting better about just saying thank you and not just launching into, well, I didn't eat any salt 24 hours before. I didn't have any salt 24 hours before or any water, and that dehydrates you. So you when you do bodybuilding photos, my trainer's Ian's a bodybuilder. He was like, no salt, no water, 4 hours before, and then you're dehydrated when you go in. So any muscle I had
Accentuates.
right afterwards, I went Gatorade because I couldn't. I mean, you're so dehydrated, dying. So then but I had worked all hard because I had been working out a lot for I'd say about 9-10 months.
So when you say working out a lot, are we talking twice a day? How many hours?
I would say 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week, but it's something called progressive overload, where each time you go in, you do a little bit more weight. And you do that for anywhere from 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And then you do something called a deload week, which sounds very sexual.
Oh,
Doesn't it sound sexual? It's the load.
Okay, the load. The load adds into it.
Yeah,
it sounds sick.
like. But so then you do a deload week, and then you start
dick
back
load
up.
week. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
sounds.
sick.
And then also we were getting protein tracking everything, but it was like ebbs and flows, because it's like I did it for, we did it, and then I said, hey, I'm a stress eater. This is going to be a real process.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, well, some of that stuff you have to work out in therapy. So it's kind of like doing it in tandem with my therapist, because part of me, and him and his my co-trainer Becky, they put so much work into it. I'd feel bad because I'd be marking everything I'd eat, and then I'd go eat a bunch of candy, stress eat.
Okay.
And
Candy's
then
that's your go-to. We talking Sour Patch?
anything. The second the sugar hits my brain, if I'm like in a bad spot, I'll just go nuts.
Well, you don't drink, right?
Don't drink.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's part of it. It's a
so
coping
that's
skill.
definitely the
I go, I'm
sugar
stressed,
thing,
I'm
yeah.
sad. But so they were like, okay, if you really want to do, you got to work
Candy
on.
better than alcohol, though.
Yes,
Must say,
that's what I
much
said.
better,
I'm
much
chain
better.
smoking cigarettes, funneling candy, and going, at least I'm not drinking. But when I'm trying to do, because he said too, when we first started, he goes, show me a picture of what you would ideally want to look like, and it's so gendered. I didn't realize this until I really searched. I was like, I couldn't find anyone because I couldn't find any like androgynous looking people.
Mm-hmm.
It was either like very much like women or men. There wasn't any, the bar for handsome women is maybe not on the playground yet. You know what I'm saying?
And it goes too veiny. You were like you're at like because otherwise you get Jackie and then vein central.
That's so
don't
funny.
like the
I
veins.
never noticed that ever, but other
What?
people have pointed that about. I don't mind veins at all.
But the amount, like, I weirdly, I had me
That's
and
so
Jefferson
funny.
did this
My
like gym
girlfriend-
video, and now all these like personal trainers and like
Right.
crazy jack guys are following me, and I keep looking at them like the veins are nuts.
Too much veins.
And the women too, they get so bulked up, and they're
Right.
like, but you have a nice. It's just a nice.
appreciate
yeah.
that.
So how long did it take you to get abs? Did you have abs earlier in life?
I have had them before. That's where I'll usually lean out from the quickest, but to build up that muscle, to make them like accentuate more. Also, I also got a tan that helps.
Okay,
but
I don't think that
I'm bad at compliments.
Yeah.
But
the tan really adds the ab. No, it's I don't believe I have abs. I'm convinced.
you do. Everybody
that-
does. Everybody
That's
does.
where sorry, body.
Everybody has them, but it's just also, for some people, this for me is the first place that I'll like lean out. My butt is the last place.
Okay.
So they are there. It's also just, you can't like spot target where you lose cellulite from,
yeah.
unfortunately, but then you can build more muscle. So then as you do lose it, it pops out more.
Okay.
Showed my mom these pictures. So I was with her in San Francisco this past weekend. She came with me because we've got a bunch of family there. And she's not on Instagram. And she goes, your sister said you posted some photos on Instagram. Like, what is? And I was like, oh, yeah, I've posted photos on there all the time. She's like, what? But something like, are you naked? And I was like, oh, no.
You're not naked at all.
I'm not naked. I was like, remember the movie Fight Club? She's like, no. And I was like, I try to recreate that. She's like, let me see. So I show her, and I love my mom very much. But she sees the pictures, and she goes, ew. And I was like, ew?
God. Ew.
Ew.
What do you mean, ew?
That's what I said. I said, what do you mean, ew? And this is at, so we're flying to San Francisco. It's Thursday morning at like 8 a.m. We're at the United Lounge. So I am sitting with
Newark?
her in Boston. She lives in Boston.
Okay.
I had a show on Wednesday in Boston. And part of why I even did that show was so her and I could have a nice day flying to San Francisco together. She's 76. I wanted to be with her on the flight. Now I'm with her at the lounge. And she literally goes, ew. And I was so shocked. I was like, ew. And she goes, your stomach. Like, what? And I was like, is it because it looks like masculine or something? I was like, it's artistic. It's like Fight Club. And she goes, ew, gross. Ew, gross.
That was her whole comment.
Ew, gross. I was like, it's someone's body.
It's
my body.
It's your body. Ew, gross.
Ew, gross. I could feel gratefulness that I'm in therapy now. Because I was like, I can't wait to tell Barbara about this. Like, I knew, like, I was like, okay. And I was like, ew, gross. She's like, gross. And I was like, what do you mean gross? And she's like, it's just, it looks crazy. And I was like, is it the, like, what is
it looking crazy? I'm very confused at what
very
you
like, what do you walk me through? And she was like, it's a lot. Like, what? Your shirt's off. So I don't know if it was that the shirt was off. So then I said, well.
Maybe it was the shirt off that she got upset by.
I guess. But
it's
ew,
still
gross.
Ew, gross is nuts.
And she never walked it back. So then I go, well, Katie takes pictures too like that. My sister is actually a trainer, so she does lots of workout photos. So I go over to Katie's page, my first pictures of my niece. My mom's like, oh. And then she sees one of my sister in like a sports bra. And my mom goes, ew.
Okay. I think your mom just likes saying ew. This sounds like
I've never heard her say ew.
Oh
I've
my
never
God.
heard ew. But she goes, ew. And then she goes, you know what? Maybe I don't understand how Instagram works. And I was like, I
don't think you do.
I don't think you do.
How many more likes did you get on that post than like a post for your like?
So many more. So many more.
Like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Infuriating.
It's wild because I go, this is this, and then I go, but I'm doing this show in Toledo, and people are like, boo. And then
I literally posted be like selling at my first theater in Toronto. I was like, this is gonna kill me. First theater I sold out. Blah blah blah. I love
That's
Toronto. Blah
huge.
blah. I had this like tailor-made jumpsuit. 2 likes. I'm like, well,
No way.
I'm like, well, I hid the like count. I hid the like count.
2 likes.
It
But
was so bad I had to hide the like count. That's when you know it's not doing well.
That's when it's not doing. Did you give it time to grow?
Oh, I gave him to grow. A couple hours, not moving. Had to hide it.
Because that is, I think a lot of times people like things that are like I love a triumph thing where it's like, I came from here.
Yes,
I used
yes.
to be out on the under the bridge, and now, or whatever the story is. I love
That is my story. I lived under the bridge, and now I'm up from the bridge. But it's so like and now that I have a boyfriend, I don't feel comfortable posting thirst traps.
Sure.
Not like this is a thirst trap. This is a different thirst trap. If I had abs, I'd be sitting here right now with my shirt off. I would never wear a shirt for the remainder of my life. But like if I post one little tit thing, one little whisper of like me in a bikini or something, the DMs are just so disgusting. Or like me in shorts. I don't wear shorts ever on stage because people are looking.
So it's out of respect.
It's like that. Also, it's just like I don't like those people that are saying those things to me. They're gross.
I don't get messages like that very much. I got some after that photo, but the amount that I think
is it more women just being like,
people be
hot, like,
or it'd be a lot of guys being like, is that AI, or like, are you on something?
Oh God!
But not necessarily in a mean way. But it would be more guys. Actually, Ian, my trainer said, he goes, for him, he was like, when I started getting really muscular, part of it was I did want to meet women. He goes, women don't care about big muscles like that. Like with him, where he was he goes, what happened? What I thought women would be like, oh my God. He goes, it's straight guys. They're like, dude,
you look
good.
Man. Yeah,
so
yeah,
I got more comments like that. And then some from women.
Yeah.
But I don't, that is that. And then I also made sure I had like pictures of me with my girlfriend up because I didn't want people
thinking this is some like single thing. Yeah.
Because I also wanted to do it like it was something that I could work on myself, and I wanted it to be like, I never felt comfortable in that space, or I never felt comfortable even like looking at like what a version of me muscular could look like, because I just wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do it like, okay, here's an option if you're more androgynous, if this is something you want to try to do.
Mm-hmm. And what, we staying like this? What's happening?
I don't know.
I want to try. Work.
It's a lot of work. I think weightlifting does give me a stress reliever, but like the hardest part I'll find is when I'm traveling, getting the protein. Mm-hmm. I'll get the steps in. Shout out to Stacia.
School of Thought. Yeah, we both did School of Thought.
Yeah. I did that. That was like the first. That was the first time I ever like learned, like the seeds were planted.
Yeah, same. Especially tracking your fucking meals and shit. And then because I still put protein in my yogurt. I had this morning.
Yes.
Like I'm always having a little yogurt protein combo,
which is great. Mm-hmm. I mean, she gets through to because I remember her saying, she was like, I don't make the rules. Like if you do these things, you will get results. Mm-hmm. And I listened to her.
The problem is, I like alcohol too much.
That's a tough one.
It's the problem. Yeah, you can't. I really am. It's so hard. I know there's people who drink who still have a good body, but I'm like, it is really fucking hard.
It's hard
to do the both.
But I will say, I do think there is something, if you can drink and it's fun and it's a stress reliever for you, then that is so good for you to have that outlet.
Yes.
That maybe this is not a healthy thing, but it's like, I think if you can drink and have fun with it, like you work so hard, that's a way you can blow off steam. I almost feel more power to you. I would just drink too much.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if you drink too much too. It's more about it's about why you drink. So if I drink because I go, I don't want to deal with this, or I don't want like that, which I know that's why a lot of people who don't have drinking problems could drink because they don't want to deal with something too. But for me, it just is too, I want to be drunk all the time.
Yeah, it's much more fun being drunk. And I will say, I drank for 6 weeks. I lost 10 pounds.
Right.
Felt so good. Go to New York for a week. It's all packed back on. And I'm like, I work so fucking hard.
I know.
And I'm telling you, it's alcohol. Because I'm waking up, I'm hungover, I'm on the mood, I'm picking out.
Right.
It's all combined.
A lot of it, when it's that, like the 10 pounds up top, probably that's like water weight, bloat, all of that. So it's probably more just like a couple pounds. But when you first see that initial thing and you go,
you're like, oh.
what happened?
And I'm like, oh, it's tequila soda.
And then you
heavy.
go, I don't want to fucking do this. I had, after I was working out for like 8 months, I remember I was like, oh God, I feel good. Lexi and I went to Mexico, and I don't know what happened. Oh, they had a cake in the bedroom.
Why was it? What do you mean, the resort?
The resort put it in there because Lexi said it was our birthday because she thought maybe they'd like send us something.
Oh, fuck.
And she knows I've got a whole thing with sugar. So she's like, are you in a place for it? Because I need to be like very emotionally centered.
Okay.
And I go, let me try. So I take my fingers and I go, boop, and I eat some frosting. And then I get activated, and then she sees it, and she goes, "Oh no!" And then I grab it, and she goes, and then she's like, I grab it, and I start eating it. I'm like, "No, like let me have the cake, like leave me alone with the cake." And then she starts to take it away, and she goes, "We're not doing this today. We're on vacation." And I'm like chasing her to get the cake. It's embarrassing.
No, that's.
But that whole vacation, then I'm off the rails.
Yeah,
I'm hiding
because
and I want to do it in secret. I go, I don't want to eat. That's why it's these unhealthy behaviors. It's like I don't want to eat ice cream by the pool. I'll have ice cream by the pool, but I want to go get 20 cinnamon buns alone in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's the compulsion.
Yeah, and then not wanting people to see. Yeah, if I'm gonna binge eat, I'm in the dark.
I'm in the dark.
I don't want any mirrors. Even with
But
a
no one
dog.
cares. We're
cares.
adults.
We're adults. It's insane, and we're not gonna. It's not like we're dogs that just eat until they barf.
Right. I'm going to eat till I feel sick. You know
Well,
what?
yeah, I might actually.
I mean,
who am I kidding? I might. Warm weather brings many outdoor activities. Happy hours after work, weekend hikes, pool parties, family barbecues, you name it. With all that time spent in the sun, we're often not thinking about what it's doing to our hair. Those rays can seriously affect your scalp's hair, making right now the perfect time to start taking Nutrafol to help keeping your hair healthy this summer. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum and menopause, as well as different lifestyles such as plant-based diets. With Nutrafol, building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Free shipping and automated deliveries ensure you'll never miss a day. See results in 3 to 6 months. I've been taking Nutrafol now for 3 months, and I am seeing an improved hair growth. I was feeling like the top of my head wasn't as thick as it was normally, and now I'm seeing that my mullet is looking much more thicker on top. And I'm not seeing as much hair shedding in the shower, which I'm very happy about. I highly recommend this to friends and family who have similar issues, thinking that, their hair isn't as full or healthy as they'd like it to feel. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code INFECTION. Find out why over 4,500 hair care professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code INFECTION. I want to get onto your tooth stuff.
Oh Lord.
I've been obsessed with this tooth thing because when you see an adult with no tooth for a while, it is shocking.
Shocking.
And you just...
I'm sorry.
But you have such good teeth.
Thank you.
I will tell you this. I was at a day party with comedians 2 days ago.
Nice.
Don't tell party.
Nice.
Here's the thing. When you see comedians in the daylight...
How is it?
It's not great.
Really?
A lot of brown teeth.
Interesting.
Lots.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You're not seeing those in the dim lit clubs. You're not seeing them at the store. You're not seeing them in the cellar. These teeth are not good.
I don't...
Not flossed. Brown stains.
You don't see...
Specks.
You don't see comedians in the day usually unless it's a good friend. or you're doing something together. Yeah, so you don't see large groups of comedians in the daylight.
I'll tell you what, not great.
Yeah,
I had to hand out
shouldn't be that way.
sunscreen to several white men who were blistering up in front of my face.
Yeah,
I'm like, do you know what melanoma is? Like,
Right.
you all look. I had it in my back pocket. I was handing it around.
Huh?
Crazy, but the teeth, I was just like, I was alarmed by it. People that you
Wouldn't
know,
think?
you and I know wouldn't think.
Right.
And I guess you don't notice because like the third or fourth one back,
Yeah.
brown coffins. Each and every
Damn.
one of them. I know.
This was so the tooth I was missing too, because if someone's missing a third or fourth tooth back, I think you can kind of pull it off.
You can go for at least a few months with no tooth back there.
Right. So I was missing front tooth, front and center, this one right here.
Yeah. So how did this start?
So it started, I feel like it was like maybe like 12 years ago. I'm just thinking of my mom a lot now because I was just with her. But I remember before I had any dental work done, I remember her really looking at my teeth and going, does anyone say anything about that? And I was like, about what? And she goes, your gap. And I go, no one's ever said anything that I have a gap ever. She goes, they don't want to make you feel bad. I'm your mother. And I was
You had to look out in the middle.
a tiny gap. Inconsequential considering the amount of drama that ensued. Because then I was missing a whole front tooth like 6
That's
years
a
later.
big gap.
Big gap.
Large gap.
Big gap. So that little gap, I go, yeah. And then I was like, how would I fix this? So veneers, I hadn't really heard of. That's where they whittle your real teeth down,
Yeah.
put
and then put
on top.
Yeah.
So I went to a couple dentists and they quoted me at like 20 grand. So I was like, oh, out of my budget.
Yeah. And this is just to get the gap closed.
This was to do get the gap closed
Okay.
and redo the first like 4, I think it was.
Okay.
Then I found this place where I lived in Harlem at the time called Harlem Dental, and the guy was awesome, and he was like, oh, you want? He was like, I think he was Russian. He was like, you want TV teeth? And I was like, yeah.
TV teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets it. And he goes, if you pay me cash and come in the morning, I'll give you TV teeth.
Oh, only morning TV teeth.
Only morning TV teeth. Only And
Okay.
I said, deal. So he was like, and he did say, he goes, you've got to take care of these. He's like, you got to floss. You can't mess around with
Okay.
this. So I didn't do that. So he gives me my first round of veneers. I proceed to not take care of them for like 8 years. And then they start popping out one by one.
Just like day to day.
Day to day.
Walking around. Just
Popping out. And it was, when was it? It must have been over the pandemic, because the first time I was really having one pop out, I remember I was going to San Diego to do a Don't Tell show with the very first time I was in LA, and one of them popped out on stage. And I went, it was an outdoor show.
What show?
I don't remember, but
Do you
I
remember the joke you said?
No, something where I must have gone like, and it pops out. But when you have veneers, you've got the little snaggle tooth underneath it. Have you seen someone with
yes,
veneers?
it's a little. So tooth goes on the ground.
And I went, oh my God. And I was like, oh, and people were like, oh. And
So
then
they
I
saw it come out.
saw it come out. And it's the first time it happened. So I'm like, holy shit. And I was like, I have veneers. I don't know what's going on. And people are like, oh. And then
Actually, gross. Wait, in Atlanta, someone's like, laugh. It's in someone's glass swilling around.
imagine someone go, yeah.
Wait, so it's on the ground?
It's on the ground because it was COVID, so there's a social distancing.
Oh my god!
So it was some
Thank God for
backyard.
COVID at this
Thank
time.
God for COVID.
Otherwise, could have been someone's front knee.
Also,
God, just looking down and seeing. I don't know what's gross. Seeing someone's tooth. Just thinking of me.
and it was also thank God for COVID, because then I could wear a mask when I was having all these dental problems.
Okay. Yes. So wait, you pick up. I'm still on the.
So then,
you pick up the tooth
so I
mid-set.
I think I probably try to finish the set or something.
That's crazy.
Pick it up, put it back in, and I'm like, shit, uh-oh. So then, I don't know what I kind of like didn't know what I kind of was hoping it would go away. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I gotta find a good dentist and get this taken care of.
Yeah.
And it would stay in if I would really like push it. Like I didn't have a problem until I was going to San Diego. Do you know Kelsey Cook?
Yeah.
So Kelsey and I were driving to San Diego from LA during the pandemic to do a Don't Tell show. Mm-hmm. And we get there early, and I hadn't mentioned I was having dental problems because in my mind I was like, it's done. And we went and we got some burritos. We were sitting outside, and while we were talking, she really sweetly goes, Emma, I think your tooth just came out in your burrito. She was like, it's no big deal. Like, that happens. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, and then I look, and then my tooth is sticking in the burrito.
Ew, God.
What a class act she is.
Wow. It's saying it so nicely, too.
Pardon
me. There seems to be a veneer.
And she goes, it's so, but she didn't even know it was in your phone. She knew it was my fucking tooth.
So full tooth, Sam.
What a class act.
Thank God you noticed that. You could have
You're right.
it back down.
I could have eaten it.
Yeah.
I could have eaten it. And she goes, and then she's like, don't feel weird about it. Like, it's okay. Like,
were you embarrassed?
I couldn't believe it. Because I was like, oh, so this happened, and what had happened. And she was like, I think she was like, look, she was like, life's crazy. She's like, look, I just got divorced. I got married and I just got divorced. She's like, she really, she did a lot of emotional labor. She goes,
yeah, you're
don't
fine.
worry about
it's a tooth and a burrito.
And I should have been more freaked out. Like, because I think she rightly probably assumed I was losing it, but I didn't quite take in what a problem it is to start losing your teeth until I tried to start getting them fixed. So this is where the drama comes in.
Yeah.
Go back to New York. I'm like, my teeth are popping out. They go, we got to get these removed. Because one of them was dead. Like, we got to take this out.
Like your actual
take out the actual snaggle tooth.
Oh, okay.
So they take out the snaggle tooth, and I was at this dentist. So I've always had good experiences with dentists, except for this one dentist. This dentist, and I liked the guy.
Not Harlem Dental.
Not Harlem Dental.
Okay.
Harlem Dental did no wrong. He said, he goes, you got to take care of these. He was like, I'm not giving you the top shelf ones here. He gave me a good deal.
Okay. You got
Cash,
the
5
morning
a.m.
TV teeth. Yeah. Okay.
Morning TB teeth. This other one, they go, we got to do this, we got to do that. I remember it should have been a red flag because I remember when they were doing some type of surgery, they didn't put a thing over my eye. So I'm just going,
You're just looking at everything?
and the guy doing the teeth snaps at the other guy. This other guy goes, he's like, Kate, what you just did, never do that shit again. And I was like, okay. And then the guy was like, sorry. And then they're fighting. And I should have known right then and there, this place is not good.
No.
They also didn't tell me what the prices were. They go, we don't know our pricing until we get in there and do it. So at one point they quoted me something. So they first said, we got to take this out. We got to put it back in. They put in this, they do something where they try to put in cadaver teeth, which I didn't know what that was.
Dead teeth?
Dead people's teeth. Cadaver bone.
Oh, they whittle a dead bone into your mouth.
Yeah.
A tooth.
Yeah, and they put it in. They put it in so then they can drill a hole. So then you got enough strength in your top mouth thingy to then hold the tooth.
So you have a dead person's bone in your mouth right now.
And shit's hitting the fan now because they go, in the middle of it, the secretary comes in and she goes, you know how we said it was going to be like 2,000? And I was like, mouth open. She goes, it's going to be 6. And I was like, what? And I was like, hold on, like, what are my options here? And they were like, well, you're going to have to pay it. And I go, can I do a payment plan or something?
Yeah, this is insane.
And they were like, if you have to. And I was like, well, you guys, this is crazy.
This is a big jump.
Huge jump. And I was like, let me call my mom. Let me check some things. So I was like, I check all these different things. I'm like, all right. And then I send my mom a message. I was like, check my credit card. I was like, okay, I can figure out how to pay for this. What if I couldn't? Would you just kick me out right now?
Yeah, literally. Fucking mouth gaping. Half a dead person's tooth in there flopping around.
Halfway done. I was like, would I work here now? Like, what would happen?
Yeah, what the hell?
And they were like, oh. And they actually called and apologized because I posted something on Instagram about like, this is crazy, right?
Yeah, and then.
Crazy. And then she called me and the secretary's like, oh, we don't normally do that. That was a mistake, whatever. So turns out this place ended up messing up my mouth. They put in way too much cadaver bone.
Too much dead
Too
tooth.
much. So my mouth and entire face gets super swollen, messed up. I look like I got the shit kicked out of me. So because my mouth just like exploded from having all this cadaver bone in the face.
God.
These motherfuckers. And I wasn't I wasn't pausing. Now I pause a little more because at the time I was like, I don't care. I just got to get this fixed, do my shows. And I shouldn't have even, I was still going on stage, face all messed up.
All messed up. Fucking full tooth swollen up. And still there's no tooth there?
They gave me a temporary one.
Okay.
So the reason I had no tooth too was I kept losing the temporary teeth. There's a few things that all went wrong to cause the no tooth whatsoever.
Losing the temporaries. Okay.
Have you ever had a temporary tooth?
I've had a fake little crown. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever the kind you can take out? It's called a flipper.
No.
So the flipper you take in and out.
on like a little thing, right? Yes.
Yeah, and you take it in and out when you eat.
Yeah.
Which for me, taking stuff in and out, I lose things. You know, sometimes
It
I
seems
would.
like it's a very important thing, though.
I know. Why did I lose it so much?
Where are you putting it? Like at a restaurant, you're just leaving your tooth lying around? Doesn't have a little case that you put it in?
Did. I know. I looking back, I go, how did I lose that?
I'm very confused.
Me too. I wasn't drinking at this time.
Oh, really? So
No,
this is just
me.
forgetfulness. Mm-hmm.
I lost it 4 times, and it's expensive.
You'd think after the first time, you'd be like,
You would think.
maybe just keep it on a necklace, just so you can plop it in and out.
Why I didn't do that? I should have had that. I mean, because they're like $600 a pop. Like
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
So what happened was also
Lost a tooth.
I kept on when I kept losing it. Finally, at a certain point, I was like, I also after my mouth swelled up and the cadaver thing, I switched dentists.
Yeah, at that point, I feel like, thank you. That
Switched
makes sense.
dentists.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
never had a bad experience with a dentist before.
Maybe it's just it was a bad guy. Maybe you had a bad guy. I hate that you can't pick the cadaver.
Oh, I know.
I'd want to know.
Because what if it's bad energy? What if
Yeah,
you get some
yeah.
freaking psychopath?
Yeah, what if I would like to pick, even like a family member. Go
Yeah.
dig up Grandpa.
Right.
Let's use Grandpa's bones.
Get him in here.
Get Grandpa in here.
I always liked the guy.
I always like the guy. I'm sure he's a nice femur.
Good.
Like, do you know what part of the bone you don't know what they're using?
I think it's the butt. No, I'm joking. I think it's. I
They're
think
putting dead ass in your mouth.
you get the discount if you use the unwanted the salami
Use
parts.
the fucking tailbone
I think they just grind up all the bones
and put it.
and put it together. But I think it's probably like lots of different people. But I don't know.
This is like when you have a bunch of little soaps in the shower and you put it all and you
Right.
combine it to one fucking soap. I don't think they do that. This is crazy. I wanted to be cremated. I don't want to anymore. I don't want to be in someone's mouth.
You want to be cremated?
I wanted to, but
Yeah.
I guess they can't use my bone if I'm cremated.
You have to. You have to sign off on this. You have to. I
I
have
can't
no
be
doubt.
knowing they're gonna take my skin, mold my bones into one blob, and then stuff it into some stand-up comedian's mouth. I don't want that.
Just your
What the
luck.
heck?
You get some fucking awful comedian too, and like you can hear them
Oh my
somewhere
god!
in
What
the
up
other
in
world.
Crystal Leah's mouth? I'd come back. I'd haunt him.
You would.
I would come. I'd come
You start jabbing and jabbing.
I'd make sure I got real infected.
Yeah, good for you.
So
You had run-ins
okay,
with-
where-
you
how
watched
much-
all those
okay,
documentaries?
I've watched too much of it.
Yeah, me too. And on over COVID, I was on the Reddit.
Oh yeah, right. You got to get off that. I just started posting on Reddit.
Really?
Apparently, stand-up clips do well.
I know Jeff Curry does it a lot because he'll pop up. I check Reddit. I'll check it for like I'll do like health stuff on it. But I see him pop up and I go, oh, and interesting.
Yeah, and they're also not that mean. Like if someone
Great.
doesn't like you, they'll go, "That's fine, move on, watch something else." Like
Love
they keep
that.
they keep the comments very nice.
I'll tell you more to stuff. But what platform do you think is the meanest? TikTok?
No, I think YouTube.
Really? Yeah, I could.
YouTube
yeah.
is so hateful.
YouTube
towards
can
me.
be
It's
very mean.
crazy, especially if I'm like I pop up on somebody else's YouTube. Not my YouTube. My fans thank God you guys are nice and they
Right.
stand up for me and stuff. But like I did Adam Ray's Dr. Phil. Ooh, shouldn't have looked at those comments.
Really?
Brutal. God, men hate me like so fucking badly, like visceral hate. Oh,
And
yeah.
at a certain point, you go, so what's the problem?
And
'Cause
I'm also like, I know I did well on that show.
Right.
I damn well know I did well. So it's like, yeah, at this point, you're just hating me just to hate me. 'cause you hate
Right.
me. Like, there's nothing. I love that when people like watch a clip, like, this is, how do people like this? It doesn't matter. You don't like it. Move on.
Exactly.
It's me murdering. It's
Exactly.
applause breaks. I don't get it. All right. It ain't for you.
Right. Is that so hard to comprehend that something could be not, and it's like, or also not for you, but for other people, or that you see other people enjoying it and just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Let it go.
There's so many videos I scroll through. You know what I'm really into right now? Neil the seal. Have you seen Neil on TikTok?
No.
Oh, Neil's this a huge seal in Australia. and
Like
he
the
keeps
biggest seal ever?
And he keeps on people's yards and pissing people off. He blocked a girl's tire. She can go to work.
A seal?
A giant seal.
Is it really a seal, or is it just someone, an influencer?
It's a seal.
It's not like Jake Paul dressed as a seal.
If this is Jake Paul dressed as a seal, then my God, this guy's got fucking money. No.
'Cause it's
this
very
is-
convincing?
This is okay. Let me show you this. This is like it's beyond convincing.
I need a new algorithm thing because my algorithm now is all tracking down and persecuting pedophiles, which is a great
Oh my
thing to
God.
do. But I can't swipe away.
Oh my God. I'm on the same fucking thing.
Because how
as
do you swipe away from that? I'm like, well, I gotta at least watch him get the guy.
I'm on the exact. This is, I keep forgetting no internet here.
We're gonna see
Look up
Neil the
No,
Seal.
you're not, I have no internet. You look up Neil Seal.
Neil Seal.
I got on this fucking bad TikTok right now where it's this I keep bringing up this one woman who is exploiting her 3-year-old daughter. She's got millions of followers. And then when you look at the shares and the likes and the comments, it's all men. Disgusting. So I went crazy and I told my sister, I'm like, put your Instagram on private. Tell mom and dad they're not posting photos of your baby anymore. I went crazy because it started when she was a baby. Sickos, sick men. And now that's my algorithm. People talking about her and then bringing that up and then finding those other creeps. And I'm like, that's why I need more Neil. I need a seal. I need a seal
to break it up.
Lobbing around. He's getting mad. He's getting in trouble. They keep trying to usher back in the sea. He doesn't want to go to the sea.
Right. We got to get.
I need that.
He doesn't want to go to the sea.
He hates the sea. He likes bugging everybody. I know.
How long can he be out of the sea?
A while.
Wow.
He's out. He's literally like using people's like yards to scratch his back. You're gonna love Neil. I'm telling you right now. Neil puts me in a good mood.
It's so important though,
and
because
those Down syndrome kids that cook.
Oh, I love those Down syndrome kids. They popped up when Theo Vaughn was on.
Yes, oh my God.
You guys, you got to watch. They are so
funny. And they're so fun and so sweet. And they love each other.
And it feels so good. And that they're like, they don't like, they're just so nice.
And also all the comments are nice. And no one's in there being mean. It's like, not all the comments, but like, it's a very,
It's a safe space.
It is a safe space.
It's a feel-good safe space.
It's a feel-good safe space.
I came across theirs too.
Yeah.
And I need to get that. That's my Instagram feed. But my TikTok feed, tracking that, it's all people that pose as a kid, and then someone comes, and then they go, I thought I was going to tell her that this is a bad idea, and then they arrest them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I can only, there's only so much of that you can consume.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And all I watch is Law and Order SVU, so it's all I'm looking at all the time. Okay, well, we got to finish the tooth thing because I got to get to your...
So what happens with my tooth is, this goes on for a long time, and at a certain point, even after I found a new dentist, to get really, really well done veneers, it was like super expensive. But I was like, I obviously have to do it. I have to have my freaking teeth here.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, because of the cadaver bone was done so poorly, they were like, you cannot. It would take a very long time for us to redo that because like it like did a bunch of weird stuff with your mouth. It's a big problem. So I was like, okay. So they're like, so we're gonna. There's something else that they did where they like connect the fake tooth to the teeth on the other side of it. But they were like, we need to give your mouth time to heal. So like you're gonna be about 4 or 5 months with the temporary tooth.
Okay.
And I said, I got a little problem with the temporary tooth. I lose them.
Big problem.
Big problem.
Big problem.
So they gave me some flippers, and then they gave me this $100 option where it's a real fake looking little tooth. Really fake.
Because wasn't it smaller than the other ones?
It's smaller than the other ones. It looks like a little chiclet, and it's connected to like, it was like Invisalign. So I'd have the whole Invisalign in, and then I'd have that in it.
In there,
Well, guess what? I lost that thing too. So I go through after 3 months, I lose the flipper I had. Then I'm using that fake one. And I lost it. And then I remember I found it and I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was going to do a show in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Comedy Fort.
Yeah, great club.
And I go, great, I'll have my tooth. Because at this point, I was a little beaten down from performing without the tooth.
Yeah. People look at you differently, right? You're getting judged. And it's a bit of a lisp.
It's a bit of a lisp. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And also
explain it too. You don't want to not explain it.
If the show's going well, great. But then if I'm having a show that goes, I'm feeling bad about, and I'm missing the tooth.
No, you need.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too many. Too
many things piling on there.
Too many things piling on. So I get to Fort Collins and I fell asleep on the flight and I lost a tooth on the flight. So I'm like, I gotta get this freaking. I got to find the tooth. I'm like putting in a report, like the lost and found report. I go, it's a very small tooth. It's in a little tray thing. I was like, if you find it, it's imperative. I need to get this tooth
I simply
back.
need my single tooth.
I need my tooth. They don't find it. I do the shows without it. And I basically just then didn't have a tooth. And there was a moment where I felt like I was going to accept it. I was like, I'm just not going to have a tooth. And I was like, I'm going to make that a thing. It's going to be my thing. No tooth. And my dad was like so upset. He was like, this cannot be. Like, you have to get a tooth. And eventually, I think it was like 9 months of tooth drama. I got the teeth fixed. I went into a really nice dentist, and I got the new tooth. And one of the weirdest parts of the whole thing, because now I would have done things a lot differently.
Yeah.
Because now, like I was telling my therapist about it now, I wasn't in therapy then. Life skills are a pretty new thing for me.
Yeah. So therapy's new for you?
I've been in it before, but I don't think I was really open to it.
Okay.
Because now I look back, after the first time with a dentist where my mouth is open and they're going, eat blah, 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 like, why do you eat hot dogs or whatever they're arguing about.
Yeah.
I would have said, hey guys, this isn't for me.
Was it about hot dogs?
It wasn't, but whatever it was. I wish
I would
it
have
was.
left immediately.
Yeah, I should have. Any person who is like, I just wasn't thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I go, no, and it was because I liked one of the guys that worked in there. We would talk about comedy. He always come in, oh, what do you think of this guy? Oh, they're funny. And I go, I like them. But now I go, I don't care what's the personality and then what are the actions?
Yeah.
I can't.
It's your mouth, your tooth.
My mouth, my tooth.
Your rules.
My rules. So now I would have handled things very differently.
But when you're going through that too, you're not thinking all these extra things. You're just like, I need a tooth. I need a fucking nap.
That's true.
That's
that is a
problem.
good point.
I have
You're
a
right.
funny tooth story.
Please, I would love to hear
This
it.
is my friend Ron Jossel. He did the podcast a long time ago, so I know no one's heard the story. He said he moved to LA years ago. He met this manager.
Okay.
He goes, it's like a Laugh Factory type thing. He calls him in like the middle of the day. It's not Laugh Factory. It's way out by in Hermosa, some like club. It's like midday. Calls him in. He's at the back booth. He goes, come over here. Dim in there, but it's daylight.
Right. What's going? Right.
He's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So he goes over there. He goes, Ronnie, you're a good guy. I want to sign you. And he's like, okay. Ron's like, just moved to LA, excited.
Sure. And you go, sign to
He's like-
what? But
he's
maybe
like-
we don't ask these questions
Yeah.
when we're starting out.
Well, no, so we don't. Also, Ron's been doing it for a long time, but he
Right.
just finally was getting a manager out here.
Right. You get excited.
So the manager has this like piece of paper on the table. And he's like, oh, you signed something. And he goes, yeah, just sign right here. And as he goes to slide, the manager goes to slide this piece of paper, and his tooth falls out onto the. Also, what is he signing? We don't sign with managers. It's like a verbal contract.
Yeah, you do a verbal contract. It's very. It's not customary to sign at all.
You sign nothing.
And somehow it is still legally binding, but you don't actually sign something.
It's strange, but tooth goes on, and Ron says he picks the tooth up quickly and puts it into a pocket of what sounds like only other teeth. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Ron? So now he's like, I had to leave. And he said it was bleeding. Like it wasn't just like a normal fallout tooth. Like there's blood. He's like, so there's blood and a loose tooth. And then Ron's like, I can't sign it. And the guy goes, was it the tooth?
Could have been.
He goes, yeah, man, it was the tooth.
It was the tooth.
Your tooth just fell out on the contract. It was the tooth.
And you got a bunch of other teeth in
And
the
you got
pocket.
nothing but other teeth.
How many teeth he got in there?
Maybe you got his extra teeth. He got those extra cadaver bones growing up in your mouth. That's what happened. They were tainted.
God,
Tainted bones.
this freaking guy.
Wait, we got a few more minutes left here. I
And also, I got to
to
give a shout out to my friend Bo Lopez, who listens to every episode of Steph Infection.
What?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Shout outs to Bo.
What the heck? Shout out to
Yep. Shout outs to Bo.
I love this.
Years ago, you did a show in New York or something. Years
Yes,
ago, and I
yes.
must have retweeted or something somethinged.
Yes.
And she loves you. I know.
What a nice thing.
Yep.
We love this.
Big
Well, you're
fan.
going to love this episode now because you're on it. There it is. I got to ask my favorite question. What's the worst body thing you've ever heard?
The worst body thing I ever heard for myself.
Or anything. Something that's just haunted you.
Well, the worst body thing for myself is that I've had to the thing I feel the most stress about has been IBS for sure. But the worst thing also that I've had is pinworm.
Pinworm.
I was listening to Blair
ringworm?
Sogi's episode when I was coming over here, and she talked about ringworm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's had it too. Then she described it. What she had was not so what she has is ringworm.
Okay.
I didn't, for a split second, I thought, oh, maybe I was confused and pinworm and ringworm are the same because lots of people have ringworm
I've
now.
never heard of pinworm.
Ringworm's much more common. That's on this. So pinworm are these tiny little worms in your butt that you get from eating unsanitary things. So as a kid, they're itchy because it's these little worms crawling around your butt. And I got it for the first time in kindergarten. But then
remember this?
Yeah.
It's a long memory ago.
It
Kindergarten,
was-
you remember?
It was worms in my butt.
So when you pooped it out, you're like, what is that?
The worms are so tiny, I wouldn't notice it then, but I felt because I would be itching. And so I can't sleep, my butt's itching. So then they took me into the doctor and they go, it might be pinworm. And then what happens is you or your parents, someone has to put Vaseline on like a something and then put it around the butt, and then the worms come out to the butt, and then the parents have to collect the Vaseline with the worms in it and bring it in for a sample. So
This is traumatic.
this doesn't just happen once. I end up getting pinworm more than the doctors ever even heard of.
What the hell are you eating?
I think it's not. I don't want to be blaming my ADD, but with my ADD, it's probably not connected. But I'm trying. I'm grasping at straws.
But
I eat with my hands all the time. So I think I'm picking stuff up. I also used to. Did you pick your nose as a kid?
Everyone picked their nose as a kid.
Yeah. So
if anyone is sitting here and acting like they did not, that's crazy.
I agree.
Everyone picked their nose and ate it as a kid. That's just what you did.
100%.
Okay, so do you think that?
So I used to pick my nose constantly.
Okay.
And but in kindergarten, this is like a little bit of a common thing. Kids get it. Then I kept getting it in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade.
No.
Yes.
That's too old for pinworm.
It's too old for pinworm. Also, when you get past fourth grade, it's too old to have your parents give Vaseline around your butt.
So the Vaseline, they come out to it?
They come out to it.
Weird.
And it's like, or no, they get stuck on it. So the worms come out at night.
Oh, they come out at night? What are they doing coming out at night?
I don't know. They get bored.
Ew. I
know.
That's so creepy.
I know.
Ew, that's like monsters under the bed at night, but it's worse.
Worms in your butt.
Worms in your butt at night coming out.
Do they have these in Canada, do you think?
My sister had it.
She did.
I remember years ago we were at a cottage and we didn't. There's an outhouse and we hated it, so she pooped in this porta potty and I was like, ew.
Worms.
But I saw it once, but I didn't know the Vaseline thing. My family definitely did not know that.
This was probably because they had to get like samples of the worms. Like they were like, we gotta like bring in these. We gotta like check out what's going on.
Okay, so wait, are you doing this yourself or your parents?
So at that point, I'm doing it to myself because I
Okay.
remember at a certain point when I got it. Because then what started happening was my parents were getting really frustrated. Like they're like, you have to stop, please. And I remember saying to my dad, my parents got divorced, and I was like, Dad, I think I have the worms again. And I just remember him going, oh, Jesus Christ.
How? Literally how?
And I remember him going, I can't keep doing this. He's like, you gotta stop. He's like, aren't you sick of this? And I was like, please help me collect the worms. And he's like, no. He's like, get your sister to do it or something. And I was like, no, come on, please. And he was like, you have to get, you're in sixth grade now. You gotta get the worms yourself. And I said, oh, come on. And he was like, no.
You got the worms yourself.
I had to get them myself. It's just, the whole thing was disgusting. And I forget, what would I go on? Antibiotics or something. But that's the worst body thing.
That is one of the worst body things I've ever heard.
But I also have all types of stomach issues. I have IBS and I'll poop my pants and it has to end. This has to end. Because my therapist said yesterday, she goes, considering how like obsessed you are with like physical health and wellness stuff now. I'm doing all these anti-aging protocol things. Tons of doing everything I can.
Just keep young and taut.
And she goes, I go, but yet I'm not addressing that I have a major stomach problem. But I need to do that because it can't be good with the nutrients. It's not good.
No.
It's not
you
good.
said you pooped away. Yeah, I literally was a hair away from shitting myself the other day. Hair. Going for a run with Jefferson, all of a sudden I was like, oh my, like, you know when every hair stands up in your body and you're like, that can't happen. It can't be like 0 to 60 like that.
That's
like,
what it is, 0 to 60.
And then there's no stopping. And then I'm like, I'm just pulling my pants. Do I need to wear a diaper all the time now?
Right. What are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do? Everyone's like, it's what you're eating. I eat lettuce. It's not what I'm fucking eating. I eat so well. I eat yogurt and lettuce and smoothies and chicken and fucking broccoli. What am I eating?
That's exactly people, because
I'm eating logs of shit with ringworm. Is that the problem? I'm eating your ringworm.
Is the problem that I eat shit and then shit out the shit?
Yeah, is the problem I'm eating my shit and shitting out the shit?
For a while I've been eating a bunch of protein powders and I was like, maybe that's it, but I cut out like diet sodas, cut out artificial sugar. I'm still doing it.
So then what
maybe
the
a
heck
little
is it?
less. I know it's around your period, you're supposed to have more, but I go, I can't keep living like this. Something has to give.
Something has to give.
To the point where I'm like, is it a chakra thing? I'm not even that into that stuff, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
And so I go, maybe I got a shock. Something, I got tested. I'm not allergic to anything, but something, it cannot.
Do you hate that too, especially because we travel a lot?
Yeah.
In the airplane? I can't. There was one time once where the seat beside wasn't even off and I was like, I'm shitting in the seat then. I have to get up right now or there's caca on the seat. So you pick one.
Right?
Sorry.
And you don't want to be that person.
I know, and I've been that person.
It sucks.
It sucks.
The worst time of me ever pooped my pants was I had locked myself out of my apartment. So I pooped my pants and it was awful. It was the worst ever. It was disgusting. It was an amount of poop that I couldn't even believe had been in my body. And it was so hot. It was like burning the back of my legs. I'd come from the gym. I didn't have underwear on. It's running down my legs.
God.
Burning
Shorts
me.
or your pants?
Pants.
Okay, thank God. Well,
thank God.
Shorts would have been better. You can get rid of it.
That's true. But I had the pants on. I felt like it's burning and I call my girlfriend hysterical. I'm like, you got to get over here. And we didn't live together at the time. And she was like, I'm with my mom and my aunt. We're having like a really nice lunch. Like, can it wait? And I was like, no, like I poop my pants worse than I ever have. She brought this up the other day because she was like, I'm just having this nice pristine lunch. And then you call shrieking. I poop my pants. It's burning me. Help me. Help me. She's like, it's like 2 on a Tuesday. She's like, my aunt still brings it up. I go, how'd she hear? She goes, you're shrieking.
Oh my God.
Screaming.
Especially having tea too. And just like.
A beautiful setting, tea sandwiches. And then I'm just like, my poop's burning me. Why
was it burning?
It was, I don't know. Something's not right.
Something's not right. Yeah.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
I need help. But I don't know if it's like SIBO. I think for me, it's because I went on so many antibiotics as a kid.
Maybe.
Have you always had stomach problems, or is it just?
Yeah, mostly it's just like I can't shit publicly. Okay, we have to wrap this up. I hate we have to wrap this up. I'm sorry.
Great. Don't be sorry. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Tell everyone where they can find you, your pod, your tour dates.
www.IamEmmaWillmann.com. I'm on Instagram at Emma Willmann. Emma Willmann on all the socials. And depending on when this comes out, I'm going to be on tour a bunch in the summer. And then I've got a podcast called Ask Men Anything with Betches Media. Comes out every Tuesday.
There we go. We love this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your shit.
Thank you.